Chapter 1. The diagnosis that broke me. I'd been feverish for a week. Figured it was a cold. But Dr. Kaden insisted on blood work. Now he was back, holding a chart. His face a mix of professional calm and barely hidden amusement. "Jaden," he said, flipping the chart open. "You're pregnant." I blinked, my brain grinding to a halt. "Excuse me? I'm a beta. Betas don't get pregnant. You sure you didn't mix up my file with some omegas?" Kaden raised an eyebrow, tossing the chart onto the counter with a smack. "HCG levels at 100,000 don't lie. You're not just pregnant. You're well into it." I stared at the report he handed me, numbers blurring. "But I'm a beta, a defective one at that. My reproductive system's basically a paperweight." He leaned against the counter, folding his arms. "Ever consider you might not be a beta anymore? Your fever, the sensitivity in your neck, sound familiar?" I frowned, touching the back of my neck where it had been aching for days. "What's that got to do with anything?" "Secondary differentiation," Kaden said, like he was announcing the weather. "You're turning into an omega, probably triggered by prolonged exposure to a high-tier alpha's pheromones." My stomach dropped. Malik, my boss, my not boyfriend, bedmate maybe, 3 years of late-night meetings in his penthouse. His cedarwood scent drowning me every time. I flushed, shifting on the table. "So, you're saying I'm becoming an omega because I've been, close to an alpha?" Kaden smirked. "Close? Let's just say your alpha's been enthusiastic. High-tier pheromones can rewrite a beta's biology. Happens more than you'd think." I groaned, rubbing my face. "Great, I'm a medical anomaly. What's next? I grow wings." He chuckled, scribbling on a pad. "No wings, but you're gonna need these." He handed me a prescription for painkillers and suppressor patches. "And you need to tell your alpha, the baby, and you will need his pheromones to stabilize." I snorted. "Tell Malik? He'd rather set his office on fire than deal with an omega. He hates them. Like, visceral, gag reflex hate." Kaden's eyes softened, but he didn't push. "Just think about it. Hiding this won't be easy." I stuffed the prescription into my pocket, my hand brushing my stomach. A baby. My baby. The only one I might ever have, according to Kaden, given my defective beta genes. I wanted to laugh, cry, or maybe punch a wall. Instead, I thanked him and shuffled out, the hospital's fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. Back at my cramped apartment, the radiator hissed, barely warming the room. I dropped onto the sagging couch, staring at the water-stained ceiling. My life was a mess. Mom's hospital bills piling up, my sister's college tuition due, and Dad blowing every cent at the casino. For 3 years, I'd kept it together as Malik's secretary by day, his stress relief by night. He paid me a salary, plus a monthly bonus of 10 grand to keep me on call. I needed that money. My family needed it. But now, a baby, an omega transformation. Malik's cedarwood pheromones had screwed me over, literally. I pressed my hand to my stomach, imagining a tiny heartbeat. I couldn't keep doing this. Playing Malik's shadow, dodging his temper, pretending I didn't care when he barked orders or pulled me close. If he found out I was an omega, he'd kick me to the curb faster than I could say, "Severance package." My phone buzzed, Malik's name flashing. I sighed, picking up. "Yeah. Jaden. Where the hell are you?" His voice was sharp, like he'd already downed 3 espressos. "You didn't show up today. What's the excuse?" "I took a sick day," I said, keeping my tone flat. "Fever." He cut me off, all high-tier alpha arrogance. "I don't care if you're coughing up a lung. Get to my office. Now." I bit back a retort, grabbing my coat. "Fine. On my way." The cab ride to the office was a blur of city lights and honking horns. I popped a painkiller, hoping it'd dull the ache in my neck. The suppressor patches were still in my bag. I'd deal with those later. Malik's building loomed ahead, all glass and steel, a monument to his family's wealth. I stepped off the elevator on the top floor, bracing myself. Malik was pacing his office, tie loosened, dark hair a mess. The moment I walked in, he grabbed my wrist, pulling me against him. His lips crashed into mine, cedarwood scent flooding my senses. I locked the door behind me, habit by now, and tried to keep my head clear. "Missed you," he muttered, voice low, his hands already tugging at my shirt. I laughed, dodging his grip. "Missed me or missed your personal punching bag?" He smirked, pinning me against the desk. "Both. You're slacking, Jaden." His pheromones hit me like a wave, making my knees buckle. I gripped the desk, fighting the heat spreading from my neck. A faint bellflower scent, my new Omega trait, tickled the air. I froze, praying he didn't notice. "You smell different," Malik said, nose brushing my neck. His breath was hot, sending a shiver through me. "New cologne," I lied, pulling back. "Cheap stuff. Don't get used to it." He frowned but didn't press, his hands still roaming. "Better not be some Omega stench. You know how I feel about them." Yeah. They're the devil's spawn," I said, rolling my eyes. "Can we focus? You've got a board meeting in an hour." He grunted, letting me go. I straightened my shirt, heart pounding. I couldn't keep this up. Not with a baby, not with my body betraying me. I needed a plan, fast. As I gathered his files, my phone buzzed again. Mom's hospital. Another bill. I swallowed hard, glancing at Malik, who was already barking orders into his phone. 3 years of this, and I was still just his fix. A replaceable beta. Or worse, an Omega he'd despise. I slipped out to grab coffee, my hand resting on my stomach. This kid deserved better than a father who'd recoil at the truth. I'd figure it out. Alone. Chapter 2. Desk Games and Danger Sense. The office door clicked shut behind me, and Malik Cedarwood sent hit like a freight train. He was in full easy period mode, eyes dark, pacing like a caged wolf. I'd barely set foot in his glass-walled kingdom before he grabbed me, pinning me against the door with a kiss that stole my breath. His hands were everywhere, tugging my jacket off, fingers digging into my hips. "Malik," I gasped, shoving him back an inch. "You've got a board meeting in 30 minutes. Can we not ruin another tie?" He grinned, all teeth and arrogance. "Plenty of ties in the closet. You're the one slacking, Jaden." I rolled my eyes, slipping out of his grip to lock the door. 3 years of this, and I knew the drill: keep the office soundproof, keep the world out. But today, my neck throbbed, the suppressor patch barely holding back the bellflower scent of my new Omega self. I adjusted my collar, praying Malik's nose wasn't as sharp as his temper. He yanked me back, pressing me onto his mahogany desk, papers scattering. "You're tense," he said, nose grazing my jaw. "What's got you so jumpy?" "Nothing," I lied, heart hammering. "Just didn't sleep well. Fever's still lingering." His lips brushed my neck, and I stiffened, the ache in my gland flaring. A faint bellflower whiff escaped, mixing with his cedarwood. Malik froze, his grip tightening. "What's that smell?" I laughed, forcing nonchalance. "Probably your overpriced air freshener. Or maybe it's just me, radiating charm." He didn't buy it, eyes narrowing. "It's sweet. Like Omega." The word came out like a curse, his nose wrinkling. I shoved him off, straightening my shirt. "You're imagining things. I was at the hospital yesterday, probably picked up some stray scent. You gonna fire me for smelling like disinfectant?" Malik's jaw clenched, but he backed off, adjusting his cufflinks. "Better not be some Omega rubbing up on you. I don't share, Jaden." I snorted, grabbing his schedule from the floor. "Noted. No Omega orgies on my lunch break. Now, can we focus? You've got investors waiting." He smirked, but his eyes stayed sharp, watching me like I might bolt. I busied myself with his files, trying to ignore the heat pooling in my stomach. My body was betraying me, reacting to his pheromones like a traitor. The suppressor patch itched, barely keeping my secret under wraps. If Malik caught a real whiff of me, I'd be out the door, or worse. "Board meeting," I said, thrusting the tablet at him. "Your talking points are loaded. Don't screw it up." He grabbed my wrist instead, pulling me close. You're coming with me tonight. Brian's throwing some fancy party. I need you there. I raised an eyebrow. Need me to fend off your Omega fan club again? Exactly. He leaned in, voice low. You're my beta, Jaden. Keep it that way. My heart stuttered at my beta, but I shoved the feeling down. Fine. But I'm not wearing that hideous blazer you picked last time. He laughed, a rare sound that made my chest ache. Deal. I'll have something sent over. Now move, or I'll drag you into the meeting like this. I ducked out to the break room, splashing cold water on my face. The mirror showed a guy who looked like he'd aged a decade overnight, pale, bags under his eyes, and a neck gland that felt like a ticking bomb. I slapped on another suppressor patch, the bitter chemical scent masking my own. Malik's possessiveness was a problem, but his hatred for Omegas was worse. If he knew what I was becoming, I'd be nothing to him. Less than nothing. Back in the office, Malik was on a call, barking at some poor supplier. I slid his coffee onto the desk, black and bitter, just how he liked it. He glanced up, mouthing thanks before diving back into his tirade. I sank into my chair, pulling up emails, but my mind was elsewhere. My hand drifted to my stomach, the secret growing there. A baby. Malik's baby. The one thing he'd never want. My phone buzzed. Mom's hospital again. Another bill. Another reminder of why I'd stuck with Malik's bonuses for so long. Dad's gambling debts, Mom's chemo, my sister's tuition. I was drowning in it. Leaving Malik meant losing that cash flow, but staying meant risking everything. I couldn't raise a kid in this mess. Not with a father who'd spit at the word Omega. Jaden, Malik snapped, off the phone now. You're zoning out. What's with you today? I forced a grin. Just dreaming of a vacation. Somewhere you're not yelling at me. He leaned back, smirking. Keep dreaming. You're stuck with me. If only he knew how much I wanted to believe that. I handed him his jacket, brushing off lint. Boardroom. Now, don't make me drag you. He stood, towering over me, his scent wrapping around us. You smell clean. Too clean. His eyes narrowed again. You sure you're not hiding something? I laughed, heart racing. What, like a secret double life? Relax, Malik. I'm just your boring beta secretary. He didn't look convinced but let it go, striding toward the boardroom. I followed, keeping my distance, the suppressor patch burning against my skin. Tonight's party would be a minefield. Crowds, Omegas, Malik's pheromones everywhere. I needed to keep my head clear, keep my scent hidden. One slip and he'd know. One slip and I'd lose everything. I grabbed my coat, steeling myself. Time to play my part one last time. Chapter 3, Party Crashers Blues. The banquet hall sparkled with chandeliers, clinking glasses, and too many people in overpriced suits. I tugged at the white jacket Malik had sent over, the fabric snug but sharp, making me feel like a display piece. Malik stood beside me, his cedarwood scent a constant threat to my fraying nerves. I doubled up on suppressor patches, but my neck gland still pulsed, threatening to leak bellflower into the air. One wrong move, and I'd be outed as the Omega Malik despised. Brian, Malik's enigmatic friend and the evening's host, sauntered over with a champagne flute. His grin was all mischief. Jaden, you clean up nice. Malik, you finally treating your secretary like more than a coffee fetcher. Malik snorted, sipping his drink. He's my beta. Does his job. Don't need to wine and dine him. I forced a laugh, ignoring the sting. Yeah, I'm here for the free food, not the compliments. Brian's eyes twinkled, like he knew something we didn't. Sure, Jaden, but you're practically glowing. Malik's pheromones rubbing off on you. My stomach lurched. I adjusted my collar, praying the patches held. Just the lighting makes everyone look like a movie star. Malik shot me a look, his hand brushing my back possessively. Stay close tonight. Too many Omegas sniffing around. I nodded, scanning the crowd. Omegas were easy to spot. Fluttering lashes, subtle scents like jasmine or vanilla, orbiting Malik like moths to a flame. My job was to play bodyguard, keeping them at bay. 3 years of practice and I was a pro. But tonight, my own scent was the enemy. Brian clinked his glass against Malik's. You two look cozy. When's Jaden getting a promotion to something more permanent? Malik choked on his drink, glaring. Brian, shut it. He's my employee, not my boyfriend. The words hit like a slap. I kept my face neutral, grabbing a passing hors d'oeuvre. Don't worry, Brian. I'm happy being the hired help. Pays the bills. Brian smirked, undeterred. Malik, you're hopeless. Jaden's got your scent all over him. Everyone knows he's yours. Enough, Malik snapped, his voice low. He's not some Omega I'm claiming. Drop it. I excused myself, muttering about the bathroom, and slipped away before my face betrayed me. The hallway was quieter, the chatter muffled. I leaned against a marble pillar, breathing hard. Malik's denial shouldn't hurt, not after 3 years of being his shadow. But it did. I was just a beta to him, a tool, not someone he'd ever want, especially not now with a baby and an omega gland I couldn't control. The bathroom mirror showed a guy who looked too tired for 25. I splashed water on my face, checking the suppressor patch. It was holding barely. The bellflower scent was faint, but in a room full of alphas, it might as well be a neon sign. I had to get through this night, then figure out how to disappear before Malik noticed. Back in the hall, the air shifted. A cloying, artificial sweetness hit me. Some kind of pheromone enhancer, illegal and potent. I pushed through the crowd, spotting Malik in the center of a knot of Omegas. Their eyes were glassy, hands grabbing at his suit, their scents overwhelming. Malik's face was tight, his easy period making him a magnet for their advances. The enhancer was deliberate, a setup. I shoved through, grabbing his arm. Malik, move. Now. He blinked, dazed, but followed as I pulled him toward a side door. 2 Omegas collapsed behind us, their pheromones choking the air. I dragged Malik into an empty lounge, slamming the door. His cedarwood scent surged, mixing with the faint bellflower leaking from my neck. My knees wobbled, but I locked the door, leaning against it. You okay? I asked, keeping my distance. Malik rubbed his temples, growling. Those Omegas. Someone spiked the air. I'm gonna kill whoever did this. I nodded, grabbing a water bottle from the bar. Drink. You're a walking pheromone bomb right now. He took it, his eyes locking onto me. You smell it too, don't you? That sweetness. It's on you. My heart stopped. I laughed, backing up. What, me? Nah, that's just the room. Probably some Omega's perfume clinging to me. He stepped closer, nose twitching. No, it's you. Jaden, what's going on? I dodged, grabbing a chair like a shield. You're loopy from the enhancer. Sit down before you pass out. He didn't sit, advancing instead. His hands found my waist, pulling me close. You're mine, Jaden. No Omega gets to touch you. His lips crashed into mine, and I melted, my body screaming for his pheromones. My neck gland burned, bellflower scent slipping free. Malik groaned, deepening the kiss, his hands sliding under my jacket. I clung to him, fighting the urge to let go completely. The baby, my secret, kept me grounded. The alarm on my phone buzzed, snapping me back. I pushed him away, panting. Malik, stop. We're in public. He blinked, disoriented, then smirked. You're too good at this, Jaden, keeping me in check. I forced a grin, adjusting my jacket. Someone's gotta. Now stay here. I'll get security to clear those Omegas out. I stepped out, signaling a guard and explaining the situation. Back inside, Malik was sprawled on a couch, looking wrecked but smug. You're not leaving my side tonight, he said, voice low. I nodded, heart sinking. Every touch, every word, made it harder to plan my escape. But I had to, for the baby, for me. Malik's world had no room for an Omega. Chapter 4, Cash and a Clean Break. Coffee beans and muted jazz filled the upscale cafe where I sat, staring at a check for $5 million. Malik's stepmother, Cassandra, leaned across the table, her Omega perfume sharp and cloying. She slid a photo next to the check me, buying suppressor patches at a pharmacy. Her smile was all teeth, no warmth. Jaden, she purred, stirring her latte. You're smart. Take the money and vanish. Malik doesn't need a beta clinging to him. Picked up the photo, heart pounding. The timestamp was yesterday. This could be for my mom. She's an Omega, you know? Cassandra's laugh was cold. Don't play dumb. I know what you are. And if Malik finds out you're turning Omega, he'll tear you apart. Save us the drama. I leaned back, forcing a smirk. 5 million to ditch your stepson? That's a bargain for my 3 years of babysitting him. Her eyes narrowed. Don't test me. Malik's father wants him settled with a proper Omega. You're in the way. I folded the check, slipping it into my pocket. Pleasure doing business. I'll be gone by tonight. She raised her glass, triumphant. Smart boy. Don't come crawling back. I left the cafe, the city's gray drizzle soaking my jacket. 5 million was a lifeline, Mom's medical bills, my sister's tuition, a chance to escape Dad's gambling debts. But it meant cutting Malik out, erasing 3 years of late nights, his cedarwood scent, his rare smiles. I shoved the thought down, hailing a cab. No time for regrets. At the office, I typed my resignation letter, fingers shaking. Effective immediately, I wrote, keeping it curt. I emailed it to HR, then blocked Malik's number, socials, everything. My desk was a graveyard of post-its and coffee stains, but I left it untouched. No trace, no goodbye. I grabbed my bag and walked out, the glass doors hissing shut behind me. The train station was a blur of commuters and neon signs. I bought tickets for Mom and me, heading to our hometown upstate. She'd been discharged that morning, frail but smiling, unaware of the storm in my life. We boarded the train, her hand squeezing mine. You okay, Jaden? She asked, voice soft. Just tired? I lied, staring out the window as the city faded. My hand rested on my stomach, the baby a secret I couldn't share. Not yet. Our hometown was all snow-dusted streets and sagging porches. I helped Mom into the house, the familiar creak of the floorboards grounding me. My sister was at her part-time job, leaving the place quiet. I tossed my bag onto the couch, collapsing beside it. The check burned in my pocket, a ticket to freedom and a knife in my chest. My phone buzzed, unknown number. I ignored it, but it rang again, and again. Sighing, I answered. What? Jaden, you quit? Malik's voice was a growl, laced with disbelief. No warning, no explanation? What the hell? I gripped the phone, keeping my tone flat. Got a better offer. I'm done, Malik. Better offer? He laughed, sharp and bitter. You think you can just walk away? After everything? Everything? I shot back, anger flaring. You mean me playing your errand boy and bed warmer for a paycheck? Yeah, I'm over it. He went silent, his breathing heavy. Where are you? I'm coming to get you. Good luck with that, I said, hanging up. I blocked the new number, my hands shaking. Malik's possessiveness was a cage I'd lived in too long. I couldn't let him find me. Not with my Omega scent growing stronger. Not with a baby he'd never accept. The front door rattled, and I tensed, expecting trouble. It was just my sister, Lily, stomping snow off her boots. Jaden, you look like crap, she said, tossing her scarf. What's going on? Long story, I muttered, forcing a smile. How's work? She squinted, unconvinced. Don't dodge. You quit your fancy job? That jerk boss of yours finally pushed you too far. I laughed, the sound hollow. Something like that. Just need a break. She sat beside me, nudging my shoulder. You deserve better than slaving for that alpha prick. We'll figure it out. I nodded, throat tight. Lily didn't know about the baby, the Omega shift, or the check. I'd tell her eventually, but not tonight. Tonight I needed to breathe. The next morning, I wired the 5 million into a new account, splitting it for Mom's care and Lily's tuition. The rest would cushion us until I found work. I met Greg, an old high school friend turned lawyer, at a diner to discuss Mom's divorce from Dad. His gambling debts weren't our burden anymore, but his abuse lingered like a bruise. Greg sipped his coffee, flipping through my evidence. Photos of mom's scars, police reports. This is solid, Jaden. We'll nail him. Courts in 6 months, but it's a slam dunk. Thanks, I said, stirring my tea. I just want mom free. He nodded, then hesitated. Heard from Malik lately? Guy's been blowing up my phone, asking about you. My stomach twisted. Tell him I'm gone. For good. Greg raised an eyebrow but didn't push. I paid the bill, stepping into the snowy street. Malik's shadow loomed, even hundreds of miles away. I adjusted my scarf, the suppressor patch itching under my collar. My Omega scent was stronger now, bellflower creeping through despite the chemicals. I couldn't stay here long. Malik would find me and I wasn't ready to face him. Not as an Omega. Not with his child. I headed home, the weight of my choice settling in. 5 million bought my freedom, but it couldn't erase Malik's mark on me. Chapter 5. Cold Truths and Hot Tempers. Snow crunched under my boots as I stepped into the diner's lot, clutching a folder of divorce papers for Greg. The air bit at my exposed neck, where another suppressor patch struggled to mask my bellflower scent. 6 months pregnant, and I was still dodging Malik's shadow. Inside, Greg sat in a corner booth, his laptop open, a half-eaten burger beside it. I slid in across from him, handing over the evidence. More photos of mom's bruises, dad's gambling receipts. Jaden, this is airtight, Greg said, flipping through the folder. Your dad's got no chance. Court's set for February. I nodded, sipping lukewarm coffee. Good. Mom deserves to be free of that leech. Greg leaned back, eyeing me. You look rough, man. Hiding from someone. I forced a grin. Just my charming personality scaring people off. Before he could reply, the diner door swung open, and Malik strode in, all tailored coat and fury. My heart stopped. Greg glanced between us, muttering, "Oh, shit." Malik zeroed in, looming over the table. Jaden, you think you can ghost me? $5 million, and you're gone without a word. I stood, keeping my voice steady. Didn't ghost you. Quit. You got my email. His eyes flashed, cedarwood scent spiking. Quit? After 3 years, you take my stepmother's bribe and run? What's the deal, Jaden? Greg cleared his throat, standing. I'll check on the fries. He bolted, leaving me with Malik's glare. I crossed my arms, leaning against the booth. It's just business, Malik. You paid me to be your beta, your whatever. I got a better offer. Done. Business. He stepped closer, voice low and dangerous. You were more than that, and you know it. I laughed, sharp and bitter. More? Like your personal stress ball? You made it clear I'm just the help. His jaw tightened, hands flexing like he wanted to grab me. You don't get to walk away. Not after everything. Everything. I snapped, voice rising. You mean me cleaning up your messes? Dodging Omegas and warming your bed for a paycheck? That's not a relationship, Malik. It's a transaction. He flinched, eyes darkening. You're twisting this. I never forced you. No, you didn't, I said, softer now. But I'm done playing your game. Go back to your penthouse. Malik's scent surged, overwhelming the diner's greasy air. My neck gland throbbed, bellflower leaking despite the patch. I stepped back, praying he didn't notice. He didn't, too busy glaring. You'll regret this, Jaden. He stormed out, the door slamming. I sank into the booth, hands shaking. Greg returned, whistling low. Dude, that was intense. You okay? Peachy? I muttered, draining my coffee. Let's just finish this. Back home, the house was quiet, Mom napping and Lily at work. I collapsed on the couch, hand on my stomach. The baby kicked, a reminder of what I was protecting. Malik's words stung, but I couldn't go back. Not as an Omega, not with his hatred for my kind. The 5 million was safe, Mom's bills paid, but Dad's shadow loomed. He'd been calling, leaving voicemails begging for family time. I deleted them, but the dread lingered. That night, my phone rang. Dad. I answered, bracing myself. What do you want, Wade? Jaden, come on. He slurred, clearly drunk. I need to see your mom. We're still family. You're nothing to us? I said, voice cold. Stay away, or I'll call the cops. He laughed, a nasty edge to it. You think you're safe up there? I know where you are. I'll get what's mine. I hung up, heart racing. He was bluffing, but the threat crawled under my skin. I checked the locks, then layered on another suppressor patch. My Omega scent was stronger now, impossible to hide for long. I needed to get Mom and Lily out of here, somewhere Dad couldn't reach. Christmas Eve arrived, snow piling outside. I wore a bulky sweater, hiding my growing belly, and helped Mom set the table. Lily burst in, waving a sparkler. Jaden, there's a fancy car outside. Looks like your boss's. My blood ran cold. Malik? No way. She dragged me to the porch, pointing. A sleek black SUV idled in the snow, Malik leaning against it, staring up at me. His coat was dusted with flakes, his face unreadable. I pulled my sweater tighter, hiding my stomach. Stay here, I told Lily, stepping inside. Mom opened the door before I could stop her. Malik, Jaden's old classmate, right? Come in, it's freezing. I groaned, hissing at him. What are you doing here? He smiled at Mom, all charm. Just dropping by to wish you a happy holiday, ma'am. Mom beamed, offering him a plate. Join us, Jaden, don't be rude. I glared, whispering, get out, now. Malik ignored me, taking a seat and grabbing a fork. His cedarwood scent filled the room, making my head spin. I tucked my sweater closer, terrified he'd notice my belly. You're not staying, I said, voice low. Mom frowned. Jaden, he's our guest. He helped us, remember? When Lily was. I know. I cut her off, jaw tight. Malik had saved Lily from Dad's mess years ago, a debt I'd never forget. But that didn't change now. Malik ate, chatting with Mom like he belonged. I pushed food around my plate, every bite tasting like ash. He tracked me down, but he didn't know the truth. Not about the baby, not about me. I had to keep it that way. As dinner ended, Malik's eyes locked on mine, a question in them. I looked away, heart pounding. He wasn't here for me. He was here for answers I'd never give. Chapter 6. Midnight Reckoning. Midnight brought a chill that seeped through my bedroom window, the snow outside glowing under streetlights. I lay awake, hand on my swollen belly, Malik's cedarwood scent still lingering from dinner. His unexpected visit had rattled me, but I'd kept my sweater tight, hiding the pregnancy. Then the bed creaked, and I froze as Malik slipped into my room, climbing onto the mattress. His arms wrapped around my waist, warm and possessive. Malik, what the? I hissed, trying to pull away. He held tighter, breath hot against my neck. Couldn't sleep. You're avoiding me, Jaden. Before I could respond, his hand brushed my stomach. He stiffened, yanking back the covers. The lamplight hit my rounded belly, undeniable now. Malik's eyes went wide, his voice a low growl. You're pregnant. I swallowed, heart racing. Yeah, surprise. He scrambled off the bed, pacing. Who's? That alpha scent on you. Some bastard who left you like this. His cedarwood pheromones spiked, sharp with anger. I sat up, clutching the blanket. It's not what you think. Not what I think? He laughed, bitter. You ran off, Jaden. Took the money, blocked me, and now you're carrying another alpha's kid. I opened my mouth, but a crash from the balcony cut me off. Glass shattered, and a flashlight beam sliced through the dark. My dad's voice roared, slurred and vicious. Jaden, get your ass down here, or I swear I'll gut your mom. Malik's face hardened. He shoved me behind him, heading for the balcony. Stay here. No way. I snapped, grabbing his arm. That's my dad. He's unhinged. Malik's eyes blazed. I'm a high-tier alpha. He's not touching you. He leapt off the balcony, landing in the snow below. I rushed to the railing, heart pounding. Shadows moved in the dim streetlight. Wade, holding a knife to Mom's throat, flanked by 3 lone sharks. Malik charged, his pheromones flooding the air. A cedarwood wave that sent the thugs staggering. Mom broke free, running toward the house. Wade swung wildly, but Malik dodged, tackling him to the ground. I clutched the railing, panic rising. Then warmth trickled down my leg. My water had broken. Lily, I shouted, stumbling inside. My sister burst in, eyes wide at the puddle on the floor. Jaden, oh my God, the baby. She grabbed my hospital bag, supporting me as we hurried downstairs. Mom met us, shaken but calm. We're going to the hospital. Now. Malik appeared, blood on his coat, dragging me to his SUV. I've got you, he said, his pheromones soothing despite the chaos. He sped through snowy streets, one hand on the wheel, the other gripping mine. In the delivery room, pain ripped through me. Early labor, stress-induced, the nurses said. Malik stayed, releasing steady streams of cedarwood to keep me grounded. I gripped his hand, sweat-soaked, cursing through contractions. "You're insane," I gasped. "You're bleeding, and you're still here?" He smirked, pale but steady. "Not leaving you, Jaden." Hours blurred, agony peaking until a baby's cry cut through. My son, tiny and perfect. Malik held him, eyes soft, then handed him to me. I cradled the bundle, tears falling. Malik slumped, blood seeping through his coat. Nurses rushed him out, shouting about a knife wound. Mom wheeled me to the recovery room, Lily taking the baby for checks. I stared at the ceiling, Malik's absence heavy. Mom patted my hand. "He's a good one, Jaden. Give him a chance." I nodded, throat tight. If he survived, I'd try. Malik pulled through his surgery quick. Days later, he sat by my hospital bed, bandaged but alive. I cradled our son, watching Malik's face. "You hate Omegas," I said quietly. "Why are you here?" He shifted, eyes down. "My mom was an alpha. Dad cheated with an Omega, his perfect match. Drove her to suicide. I swore I'd never trust an Omega." I winced, adjusting the baby. "And now?" He met my gaze, voice raw. "I was wrong. I liked you as a beta, Jaden. Loved you even if I didn't see it. Then I made you an Omega. My fault." My breath caught. "The baby's yours, Malik. Not some other alpha. Your pheromones changed me. I ran because I thought you'd hate me." His face crumpled, hand reaching for mine. "I'm an idiot. I should have seen it, the bellflower scent, your fever. I was too caught up in myself." I laughed, shaky. "You're a jerk, but you're my jerk." He leaned in, kissing my forehead. "Let me make it right. For you, for him." I nodded, tears falling. "Okay, but no more jumping off balconies." He grinned, thumb brushing my cheek. "Deal." Weeks later, Mom's divorce finalized. Wade's debts were his alone, and he vanished, chased by his own mistakes. Malik moved us to a quiet house outside the city, far from his stepmother's schemes. He fussed over the baby, clumsy but earnest. His cedarwood sent a comfort now, not a threat. One night, as snow fell outside, Malik sat beside me, our son asleep between us. "I'm not perfect," he said, voice low. "But I'm yours, Jaden. Always." I smirked, nudging him. "Took you long enough to figure it out, boss." He laughed, pulling me close. The baby stirred, and I breathed in Malik's scent, bellflower mingling with cedarwood.